Hello, we're going to go through the Pilot2 Chords plugin. I'm using a beta version of Live and I'm running NVDA on Windows 10. So,
Device detail grouping, Pilot chords grouping, device activator checkbox checked, unfold device parameters checkbox checked, configure mode checkbox not checked, Pilot chords /1 Pilot chords.
right, now this works with Object Nav, so it's the NVDA plus Shift plus the arrow keys.
Pilot chords, button, C2, top rhythms, button.
I'm just going to see what say what these buttons and controls are. So this first button is a previous style.
C2, top rhythms.
That's the name of the style.
Button.
That's style options. It opens an additional set of controls at the bottom. I'll show that in a minute.
Button.
That's next style.
Button.
That's previous chord progression.
Custom.
That's the current chord progression that's selected.
Button.
That's the chord progression settings. Again, it shows at the bottom. I'll demo that a bit later.
Button.
That's next chord progression.
Octave.
Now, octave is a knob control.
Density.
And so is density.
Complexity.
And so is complexity.
Inversion.
And inversion also.
Syncopat.
And syncopat.
Checkbox not checked.
Now this checkbox is, if I go across one more,
Bass note.
is to include the bass note in the chord.
Idea number 8.
Now we've got idea number 8, so it caches each idea as you create it.
Button.
That's previous idea.
Button.
Next idea.
Idea length.
That's the idea length. That's another knob control.
Button.
Now this is to regenerate.
Button.
And that's to play.
Graphic.
Then we've got a graphic which is impossible to use with just NVDA.
Button.
And then we've got a button that I'm not sure what that does.
Piano strings.
Oh yeah, I do. That's previous instrument, and then this one is the name of instrument.
Button.
That's instrument settings.
Button.
That's next instrument.
Settings button.
There's your VST settings button for the plugin.
Export MIDI.
And export MIDI requires a drag and drop, which is quite awkward.
Render audio.
Again, render audio requires drag and drop.
Toggle button not pressed.
And this toggle button is for the next item.
Play from DAW.
Play from DAW. So you can play the MIDI from your DAW to activate the instrument on the VST.
No next.
Right, so that's the end of that list, unless you click on one of those settings buttons. So I just work my way back to the top.
Red X button I syncopat invoke octave button C2 button C2 top rhythms.
Right, so that's the styles.
Button.
So if I just activate the styles settings button,
Invoke button.
it doesn't tell you anything, just says it's invoked. So if I object nav through again,
Octave, dense, invert, sync, check, bass, idea, button, idea, button, graph, button, pianos, button, settings button, export MIDI, render, toggle button, play from DAW.
that's normally where it ends.
List.
Now we've got this thing that says list.
Combo box style pack filter option ID equals less or greater, display value equals show all styles collapsed.
So that tells you you can show all styles, or you can filter it to specific styles.
Button. Edit blank.
I don't know what the edit's for, or I think the buttons are closed.
Pilot Vol 2, Pop Foundation.
That's the one that's currently selected.
Graphic.
Then you got a graphic.
C2 top rhythms.
That's the name of it.
Top Rhythms Chords is known for its selection of popular chord choices rooted in rhythmic patterns and harmonics proven to be successful in music composition.
There's a little description.
C2 graphic. Pilot Vol 2 edit blank button.
So let's click that button.
Invoke.
Yep, and that does close that panel. So I'll just go back.
X button graphic button button ID base checkbox not check sync in custom button C2 button custom button.
Right, so this button is the chord progression settings, so I'll just activate that. This is with NVDA+enter.
Invoke button.
Again, it just says invoke, so we go down.
In idea button graph button piano button settings button export render or toggle play from door.
That's normally where it ends.
Close X button.
You've got a close X button there.
Combo box 8 collapsed.
Right, now this combo box is the number of bars.
/2 button.
That's the timing, you can divide by 2.
Half. X2 button.
And times by 2.
Double. A minor toggle button not pressed.
This I think is to do with the key, but I haven't worked out how to control it with NVDA yet.
Combo box chord library VMID equals jazz, modal, name equals jazz, modal collapsed.
Right, here you can select a chord library.
Combo box chord progression VMID equals custom, name equals custom collapsed.
And there you can choose a set of chord progressions from that group.
Button. No next. Combo button.
And then you've got a button which I don't know what it does.
A minor double X half / combo play from close X button.
So just
Invoke.
Let's have a quick look at the instrument settings.
Play from door. Top rend X settings button piano strings button.
So that's the instrument settings.
Invoke button.
So invoke that. And let's have a little look.
Button settings export render audio toggle button not pressed.
I believe that
Render top play from door.
there's the end of the normal bit.
List
It says list.
button.
I believe that button is a close button.
Combo box instrument group VMID equals recommended instruments. Display value equals recommended instruments collapsed.
So that's a group of instruments.
Button.
Again, don't know what that button is.
Edit blank.
And you've got edit blank.
Global volume.
Global volume.
Global filter.
Global filter.
Global reverb.
Reverb.
Global delay.
Delay.
This is a sampled instrument. Designed by MixedInKey.
So that's a sampled instrument, tells you about it.
Graphic.
And you've got a graphic.
No next.
And that's the end.
This is a global filter. Global edit blank. Button. Combo box instrument group VMID equals button.
Right. Now to activate any of these combo boxes, first of all I have to move object nav to it.
Combo box instrument group VMID equals recommended instruments. Display value equals recommended instruments collapsed.
Then I have to move the mouse focus to it with NVDA+shift+M.
Window.
Then I simulate a left click with NVDA left square bracket.
Left click. Combo box expanded. Instrument group VMID equals recommended instruments. Display value equals recommended instruments 2 of 12.
Right, so now that's open, I can use object nav to go through the list.
List item 3 of 12. Instrument group VMID. Instrument group VMID equals all sounds. Display value equals all sounds not selected 1 of 12. Instrument group VMID equals list item 3 of 12. Instrument group VMID equals keys. Display value equals keys not selected 4 of 12. Instrument group VMID equals pads. Instrument group VMID equals bass. Display value equals bass not selected 6 of 12. Instrument group VMID equals LEDs. Instrument group VMID equals plugs. Instrument group VMID equals voices. Display instrument group VMID equals strings. Display value
So you
equals
get
string.
the idea.
Instrument group VMI. Instrument group list item. Instrument group VMID equals all sounds. Display value equals all sounds not selected 1 of 12.
So again, I move the mouse focus.
Text. All sounds. Instrument group VMID equals all sounds. Display value equals all.
Simulate a left click.
Left click. Selected. Combo box instrument group VMID equals all sounds. Display value equals all sounds. Button.
And that should be the close button.
Invoke. Button.
Okay, maybe it's not.
List. Button. Combo box instrument group VMID. Button.
Let's try that button.
Invoke.
Yep, so it's that second button that closes the window. So I don't know what that first button does. Okay, now to change any of the knob controls, they're really fiddly with NVDA.
Toggle button not press. Render audio. Export. Settings button. Button. Dub reggae piano. Button. Graphic. Button. Button. Idea button. Button. Idea number 8. Bass note. Checkbox. Syncopat.
Right, so let's try syncopat. So first of all I have to move mouse focus to it. So to use NVDA+shift+M.
Window.
Then I have to move the mouse very slowly upward. Okay, it's not finding it. It's
Inversion.
try on inversion. So move mouse focus.
Window. 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 Progress bar. 0%. Window. 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 Window.
Okay, might be the video recording thing that's getting in the way.
No previous. Pilot chords. No object. Button. C2. Button. 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 Custom. Button. Button. Octave.
Right, let's try octave.
Window.
Right, so I've moved focus to there. I'm going to simulate a click and hold for the left mouse button. So that's NVDA, control and left square bracket.
Left mouse window.
Okay. And I'm going to release it because I think I've clicked on something I shouldn't.
Left mouse button unlock.
Okay. So the